Welcome to our demo SCIO EDUCTOR, our quantum biofeedback and bioresonance technologies. Tonight we'll talk about spinal balance. My name is Jacqueline Jacques. I am a quantum biofeedback and bioresonance practitioner and a coach and trainer in this field. Also, you see here my professional background. The objective of this video. So this video is part of a series of videos to present the main characteristic and functionalities of the EDUCTOR, the most efficient quantum biofeedback and bioresonance technologies on the market today. So this video will present the balancing of the spine, how we will balance all the spine, because we know that the spine is so important. The spine will, I would say, store many stress. So it is important to have the spine balance on a regular basis. So we'll go there and we'll go to our Spinal program. And we have here all the spinal. So we have all the cervical, the vertebrae, the thoracic, the lumbar, and the sacral, everything. So what we do, we just go test and treat very easily. And what will happen during this time is that the device will test and try to balance each and every vertebrae and muscle and intervertebral muscle. So this is quite a long therapies. If I consider our therapies in our program, it is about 2 minutes. So during this time, we will go in our module that we call the body viewer. And what we can do here, we have the spinal, and we have here, we can ask for a scan of the full spine. So again, this will just move and go one by one. And it will just scan each and every, or help to harmonize each and every vertebrae, exactly. So this is very wonderful. It's very nice to watch also, to look at this program. And while we are doing this, and then while we are working on our spine here. So here it's working on the thoracic. And again here, if I do not have time to do all this therapy, I can just go and harmonize here the cervical, I click on the yellow, or the thoracic, or the lumbar. So this is also very nice. And here we see also all the dermatome. And this is also a therapy that we can use with the client, depending on what it is that we have as a client and his challenges. So what will happen here is that once it is finished, we will have the list of the result. What is corrected and not corrected. So this is also, and it shows to me here that there is some degeneration probably here at the cervical. So we can see correct, nerve compress, correct, not correct. So we have the full result here. And we can get from the chiro report here a report of what is correct and what is not corrected. So what we could do is that we could redo it to have it corrected. But the logical way of working is to try to remove the emotion that has been stored in the spine. And when we will heal or work or harmonize the emotions, then it will become easier to work on the vertebrae. So here we can do the test and treat for the emotions. And it will take like around 2 minutes just to work with. Again, it will go through all vertebrae and look at the emotion. So we will just stop the recording here while we are doing these therapies. So once it is finished, once we have, the system has worked on the emotion in each of the vertebrae, again there is a result here of all the vertebrae. Again, I can always refer to the program here. Then I could say the first was relate to the vertebrae. The 2 seconds are related to the emotions. Okay, and then we can see there is a relation, here. Okay, so this is really something that is interesting to check and keep report on that, and eventually go from one session to the other one and just try to see what is happening in here. So we'll close this one. So this was the neuro-emotional complex. Again, what we can do here, we need to look at the frustration index and the love index. So we want to have the love index, as higher as possible, ideally twice as high as the frustration. So here it is really interesting because we have more love than frustration. This is already good. If we would like to have a little bit more precision, we can ask some of those questions before we do this therapy. And also, I like here we could include some of the frequencies here that we could that we find, from the matrix. It could be the love, it could be karma, the solution of karma, the solution of stress, whatever it is. A nice, let's say I will here include 5031, which is nice minerals, 76 minerals. So we'll just say, okay, let's include this in here. Yeah, I could have included something else, or the neurotransmitter or whatever, but I just chose this one because I have the number by heart. And then what I could do is load substance. Okay. Okay, this is done. And then I could go and treat again. Then it would include this substance or this frequency while it will work on the emotions. So again, this is interesting. I like to include here sometime related to karma. If I believe in karma, I can add, the love. I can add, consciousness, awareness, and that type of frequencies. Okay, so this is really something interesting. I close, and once I have harmonize all the emotion, I like to see the word corrected on each. So what I would do, I would recorrect another time. I would just click another time, and then I would have correct. And once everything is correct on the emotional level, what I will do, I close this panel, and I come to redo again with the vertebrae. And I'm looking for correct at the level of the vertebrae. Okay, so this is really something that is interesting. While it will be working well, just trying to explain also that here we have a level of sensitivity. If the person has a high level of sensitivity, the frequencies will be given to the client very softly. If the person has a minimal sensitivity, that means that the device will send the frequencies at a higher, with a higher power, if I can say, a little bit stronger. Okay, so we need to, it will be very much adapted to the client. So we'll just stop a little bit while we are waiting for the result of this therapy. So once it is finished, you can see correct. That's quite good. One here is not corrected, and this one. So this is really on and this inflammation. So we can work, and if we are an osteopath or chiropractor, this is really interesting. It is interesting to make sure that we remove and work on the emotion before we do any physical manipulation. It's a lot more easier. So this was a part of what I wanted to tell you. What I want also to tell you is about the spine. I told you that there are many emotions in the spine. So what we can do, we can work on, let's say that anything in the matrix here is related to somewhere in some way to the spine. So let's say that we take an emotion here, that we say anger, and we want to see where it is in this, for this client, in the spine. So what we could do, we can do, well, I will take something maybe a little bit more easy. Let's say, wait a minute, because I would like to make it clear with this client. Let's say we have here depression, okay? Let's look at this, what is really related to the client. Then I would go and try to see where it is in the spine. I will go expanding here, and then I will just go to, I see here, what is the connection of this element, the depression, with the spine. So what we find here is that it's related to this, which is the C5, and then with all the thoracic, and then many with, we will just try to see which one it is. But then you understand how it works. And then I can just come here and say, well, I will work on all the thoracics here. With all of this, I could click on the blue. I can work on this C1. It is already corrected, so I'm not stressed out with this one. It is, when we say corrected, it is corrected energetically. And in here, I would just click on the thoracic. I could work on one of the vertebrae if I put a dot here, or I can work on the whole group. And this is what I prefer today, with the whole group. And what we will do, we will stop the recording when this is complete. Then it is completed, then I can go back. So, and look at that, there is an alarm. When there is an alarm, that means that something really happened for this client. We can just correct easily the alarm. There is no danger for alarm, except that it could make the system a little bit, I would say, slower, because there are some detox that is happening on the energetic level. Okay, so that was what I wanted to talk to you about the spinal. Hope you have enjoyed it. And if you ever feel that you would like to know more, here are my details. You're welcome to call me, contact me, and we can have a demo through internet. Thank you so much.